Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brain.
I was going to say gentlemen, and Chad's not here. Oh, took me off guard. I was like, where the hell did Chad go? That's a nice mask.
That reminds me of my hotel room from Scares of Care.
Oh. What do you even call that?
Roger the Dog Man?
Roger
It's either a dog or a bear. I don't know.
Yeah, I could never tell. So it says Dog Man?
Yeah.
Oh, well, for everyone who can't see, it's the mask from The Shining, the old Beej mask from towards the end of the movie. Where the hell did you get that?
I tried to get it from Trick or Treat Studios, but they sold out, and somebody had one on eBay, brand new. So
my buddy Morgan got one of those at Scares last year. And the first night I went away, I stayed at his house in Carolina, and he has that in the basement where I was sleeping. So that friggin' thing was looking at me while I was sleeping.
I've been wanting it ever since I saw it a couple years ago, and I dropped I think $65 for it. Love it.
Nice. I think my freaking earbuds are going bad. This will
Somebody's got a little buzz going. A little.
Oh, maybe it's not my earbuds. Is that fake?
That's
I'm
the
having
word.
trouble hearing because my earbuds just literally went bad.
I hear a little like fuzz.
Is it me? Here, let me
Oh,
mute
no.
Chad.
That's it.
It's Chad. God damn it, Chad.
There you go.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
You got it.
Okay, I got to order new earbuds. So welcome to Final Guys, blah, 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 going as well as usual. This week we are doing The Reef Stalked, which is I don't think it's a Shudder exclusive, but it's on Shudder.
Right.
And
I don't know.
I am Jason Brandt, joined as always by Jack PC.
Yo.
And filling in for Hunter the Douche is Chad Lutzke, who is putting his earbuds in. You just got your intro, Chad.
Oh, hey, it's me, Chad Lutzke.
Before we jump into the regular shit, you want to do our little recap of scares?
Do the drinking words first.
Do the drinking words first. Okay. Do we?
Just because we forget.
We do. Chad, you want to read the drinking words?
Sure. Let me scroll. Tonight's drinking words. If you hear Jack say Jaws, kayak, or shore, take a drink. If you hear me say healing, ocean, or reef, drink. Jason's words are cast, reel, water, and the bonus drinking words are care, shark, and scares.
Very nice. Thanks, Sheridan. Okay, first, I need to show this. I forgot to show it last week. My wife went to one of these, I don't know, Home Goods or one of those stores that sells, decorations and shit for your house, and she found this.
Oh my God, it's our logo.
What are the freaking odds?
It came with the headphones?
Yeah, this is the whole thing.
Get the...
That's pretty crazy, dude.
She pulled it out of the bag. I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah,
Home Goods?
I'll get the exact store. I'll try to remember to ask her for next week, but it's one of those type stores. I was like, what the hell?
I got to get one of those.
How
funny.
wild is that? And it was like, I think it was $15 or something. So,
Oh my God.
I know. I just completely forgot to,
That's
to
great.
share that. It's amazing. All right. So we went to the Scares the Care charity weekend. Jack and I did. And I had a blast. We got to hang with some cool people.
I concur.
Okay.
The highlight for me was drinking bourbon with Laurel Hightower as usual.
Oh, kissing ass already. Well done. Is she in the
Kissing
chat? Is
ass.
that what
I'm
you're-
calling it. She is in the chat.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
But you didn't even show up at the booth to have a drink with us. So,
No, I think that's when I caught Armand in the other room and he wouldn't stop yammering at me.
did not expect to see him there, so that was nice to meet him in person.
I walked in and hung a left, and he's just sitting there, and I just put my arms up like, what the hell is this? And he didn't look happy to be there. And when I talked to him, he was not happy to be there.
He said he had a good time though when I talked to him.
Yeah, it's always cool seeing everybody. Tim was there, Laura was there. I mean, there was some really cool shit. D. Wallace was there. I got to talk to Andrew Devoff, the Wishmaster, for a very long time. He was super nice, very, very nice, interesting guy. Owns a brewery that apparently he spends most of his time working at now. He serves drinks at his bar and stuff. He was cool. And Terry Kaiser, who plays Bernie at Weekend at Bernie's, and I don't have the Blu-ray. Oh, yes, I do. And he plays the Mad Doctor in the inimitable Tammy and the T-Rex. He was there, and he was, first of all, the dude is 83 years old, which I had no idea.
Looks good.
83.
I saw that picture. He looked great.
And he would like jump up and shake hands and take pictures, and he was like super witty. I could not believe when we looked him up later how old he was. He was a really funny dude. He was sharing Tammy and the T-Rex stories, which made me quite happy because that movie is just madness. I said D. Wallace, the whole cast from E.T. was there. I mean, it was cool. It was just a fun weekend. I got some cool shit.
Well, the whole cast wasn't there. E.T. They should have had an E.T. figure there, but there was no Drew Barrymore.
Or no Reese's Pieces, probably.
Yes.
There was a lot of Reese's Pieces there.
I got this thing. It lights up. It's like a 3D.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I got it signed by D. Wallace and the kid whose name I can't remember from Cujo. I got both of them to sign it, so I'm pretty happy. It was expensive as shit, but it looks really neat. So, yeah, good times all around.
I met Danielle Harris.
What's that?
I met Danielle Harris because my buddy Hunter
jealous.
couldn't make it this year. So he said, hey, can you go get me an autograph? So I went up and got the combo. So I'll keep the picture of myself with her and I give him the autograph. So she was cool. Had a little chat with her. She was tiny.
She was really nice.
Yeah, she's real tiny.
She's
post the picture.
small. Did you see the picture of her with her crazy tats on the table?
I've seen them before. The tattoos, yeah.
I got Hunter the one with the all the blood in the shower.
Oh, I did not see that. I took a Last Boy Scout poster I had her sign. But I talked to her about Steven Seagal for a couple minutes, so that was fun.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know she was in a movie with him when she was younger.
Did she have any dirt or anying?
She didn't have some nice things to say about him, but
yeah,
she said that she was so young in it that he kind of just left her alone. But that he was pretty much hated by everybody.
Danny from The Shining is all grown up and was sitting across from Laurel.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
I didn't talk to him, but
that's the one that him and Daniel Harris, but even more so Danny. That's the one that I would want to get an autograph from for sure.
I should have taken something from The Shining to have him sign. I think, was he there last year or was he supposed to be canceled?
he wasn't, but maybe he was supposed to be. I don't know.
Okay, because he and the kid from The Omen, one of them was supposed to be there last year, and they were both. I don't know. It's been too long, but I wanted to give it.
There was no Felissa Rose this year, so a little bit of a hole in my heart for this.
True. But that hole was partially filled by Bernie for me because he was so great. And I want to give a special shout out to Laurel, who was killing it on the costume contest judging at the end of the whole event.
She was by far the best person on that panel. Father Evil was good too. The dude from Guardians of the Galaxy,
John
he's always
Anderson,
good.
yep.
But Laurel was like, anytime somebody said something, the whole crowd would be thinking something, and she would, without missing a beat, would zing. When a guy said Lego instead of ego, she nailed him.
Yeah, and she was throwing out some horror movie kind of trivia that some people were not even getting, including one from the new Texas Chainsaw movie that only Jack and I went, oh, yeah, that was perfect. Like no one else in the audience got it. So she kicked some ass. So
good job, Laurel.
Great event as always, and everyone should join us next year.
And listen, my buddy Morgan was with us. He hosted a dinner in the lobby. He went and bought Chinese food and just plopped it down, and we started eating, and people just joined us. So he wins like MVP for host with the most.
Yeah, I saw you guys all out there eating. There was a mountain of food.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm hungry. I don't want to deal with people and their orders. I'm just ordering stuff and love it or leave it.
Well done.
So that was fun.
It was a good time. So, are you ready to jump into the news?
Do it.
Let me find. Oh, what
This
do you
came
got
out today in paperback.
there? Oh, shit. Chad has news.
Yeah, this is up for Kindle pre-order, but the publisher announced today that this is available in paperback right now, as of right now.
Paperback
today.
first.
So, yeah, there's like 14 stories in here. 13. 14,
Just say the
15.
name out loud because it's a little dark.
Oh, yeah,
Spinal
yeah.
Tap.
Spinal Remains. It's my short story collection through Cemetery Gates Media.
Very nice.
Cemetery Gates Mina. Very nice, man.
And please
you
tell me
just
that you
get-
didn't co-write that with Tim Meyer.
No, there's nothing in here with Tin Meyer.
Thank goodness.
I at least got to drink with Tim at the bar. Everyone else who said they were going to meet me at the bar, nobody did. But Tim showed up for a while.
I went out for dinner with Tim.
Oh my God. Wow, so fancy. Yeah, I just drank a lot. I'm sure that shocks everybody.
Yeah.
All right, on to the news. It's the news. Yay.
All right. I got some compliments on the news that scarce, by the way.
Oh,
So,
really?
I did. Lucas Milliron, amongst others. Anywho, Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt are going to be teaming up for an Apple TV series about the Titans, which is the Godzilla world, called Godzilla and the Titans. So it's in that Kong Skull Island Godzilla universe,
Okay.
following the battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco. In the new reality that monsters are real, the untitled series will explore one family's journey to uncover its buried secrets and legacy, linking them to the secret organization known as Monarch. I don't have Apple TV, but I like Kurt Russell and his son, so we'll see.
Yeah, you got me a Kurt Russell and his son. I don't know how I'm going to watch it because I don't really feel like signing up for Apple TV, but okay. I didn't know they were even doing anything else in that monster universe thing. Whatever that's called.
I just hope they're not wasting that talent on something. So,
Yeah, I'd like to see them in a movie.
yeah, how about an Escape from New York with Snake and Son, you know?
Yeah. Sold. Get John Carpenter to come back because the last movie wasn't terrible. Actually, I don't really remember Escape from LA. It might not be as bad as I remember.
I saw it in a theater and was so angry when I left the theater.
I never saw it.
Oh, Chad, there's a surfing scene in it that is just
Yes, that's...
Perfection, huh?
So, Chad, what's your thoughts on this Godzilla thing?
I don't know, man. I haven't seen. I think the last Godzilla movie I saw was like the one that they did in like, what was it, mid 2000s or something. That's the last Godzilla movie I've seen. I was never a huge fan, but I think my first horror movie was actually like Smog Monster, Godzilla vs. Smog Monster. But with CGI and stuff, man, I'll bet it'd be cool. I was a big fan of like, was it Kong Island or whatever it was called?
Skull Island?
Skull Island. Really liked that. So with the CGI, man, I'm a big fan of like kaiju CGI.
oh man, the last one then, Kong vs. Godzilla or whatever that was called. Dude, that was just CGI monster fight fest.
As it should be. Yeah.
The story was like hilariously bad. But
That's what I hear. Yeah.
I mean, there's a scene where Godzilla blows a hole into the earth where King Kong is in the center of the earth. And then Godzilla is looking down at King Kong from the surface, which
Seems
apparently
legit.
isn't that far away.
yeah, King Kong has advanced axe technology or something in the center of the earth. I mean, it is bad, but it was fun. I had fun with it.
Okay, the next two pieces of news are lightly connected, and it's all good news for the remainder of the year. First of all, have you seen the Pearl trailer has hit?
Yes.
Pearl being the sequel to X.
Oh, is it the sequel? I didn't know. I haven't seen X, so I didn't know that.
I
So,
thought it was a prequel.
well, it's a prequel.
Okay.
So Mia Goth is in it. The thing I didn't realize, I thought this was coming out next year. This movie is coming out in September.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah, so that's the news part of this, is because they show a trailer after the credits of X. I was in the theater and I stayed and saw it. And you're like, oh my God, there's going to be another one. But I assumed it was going to be, next year at this time. Nope, we're getting it in September. So
Has A24 ever done a sequel or a prequel?
that's a good question.
That's a really good question.
I believe that the way this happened was they were wherever they filmed this, Texas or whatever, or maybe they filmed it in Australia or something. But they were there, they finished, and then they were like, you know what? We've got some time and we've got people here. Let's just do another movie. So I think they ran it by the studio and was like, hey, I think they banged out a story real quick, got it by the theater and was like, we're here. Let's just do another one, and got the green light and banged this one out. So thanks to COVID, they had all these, restrictions.
So it's just these two.
I think it's just these two.
Okay.
I mean, it's A24, so I mean, I haven't seen anything bad by them.
I hate prequels. I will still go see this.
In this case, though, I like it because it's different than a prequel in that it's almost part two of the same story. It's just a Quentin Tarantino, the order they're telling it, and who knows how much modern stuff might be in there, because there could be, modern day stuff. So they've got my money. I'll be there. So that leads me to another movie that I did not realize was coming out this year or even was being made. I might have known that it was being made. My Best Friend's Exorcism, the Grady Hendrix books. There's a movie. It's going to come to Amazon Prime. They call it Halloween season, but I think I read that that's also going to be like September. But yeah, September 30th.
All right. Well, the Halloween shit goes up in stores now in freaking August.
Yeah.
So.
And this one looks like it might just go right to Prime.
Okay.
Who directed that?
Let's see.
Or who? I read
Christopher Landon from Happy Death Day and Freaky is one of the producers. I don't have the director.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't like Freaky, but I liked Happy Death Day.
I mean, I have a to be read pile that's already too high, but the last time I saw Hunter, My Best Friend's Exorcism was one of the books that's on that pile.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I might bump it up to try and get it read before.
There's a great book.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah. That dude is killing it right now. So, I'm all in on that. Hell yeah. And on Prime, sold.
For me, the silver lining here, no matter what, is two movies I'm looking forward to, because it seems like we keep having to wait 3 or 4 weeks before something else I'm really looking forward to watching.
Yeah.
Comes out. So, all right. The last piece of news, sad moment of silence for Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek, passed away last week. So
Terrible news.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. I didn't know that she passed away.
Legendary first interracial kiss on TV.
Yep.
She must have been up there, huh? She must have hung in there.
Yeah, she was probably close to 90.
Yeah.
Shatner's 90.
Yeah.
So
Legend.
that is all the news that's fit to print.
All right, let's talk about what we watched this week.
We have such sights to show you.
Chad.
Me.
Did you watch some good stuff?
I did. I watched a movie called The Neighbor with William Fichtner. I don't know if you guys know who that is. I only know him by face. I think he was. I don't know what movies he was in. I think, but I'm for sure he was in Prison Break, which is a show that I was into a while ago.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing his face now. Yeah, I know who he is. He's in some good stuff.
Yeah, my wife and I, when I'm watching a movie or reading a book, if I go in blind, the chances of me enjoying it more, like not even knowing the genre, I mean, usually I can tell if something's a comedy just by the picture, but if I go in blind not knowing something, I enjoy it that much more. Don't read the synopsis on the back. Don't read the synopsis in the movie.
I'm exactly the same way.
Never know what to expect. So instead of waiting for that, those things that are minor things that are spoiled in the synopsis, I just don't have any idea. And so this was one of those things. I saw the poster for it. It said The Neighbor. I'm like, okay, crazy neighbor movie. That's what it looks like single white female type. And I'm a big fan of those type of thrillers. So I thought that's, even though they're kind of all the same, but I still like them anyway. That is not really what this is. This is, and I don't know that I would even call it horror, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. That guy right there moves into the house next door with his hot girlfriend.
Michael Rosenbaum?
Yeah, lives next door they move into this older guy's house. Now, this guy, William Fichtner, he was phenomenal in this movie. Just amazing. He plays kind of like this very awkward middle-aged guy. Looks like he's probably 50 years old or something. And he was so good in this. I've seen him in other stuff, not quite like this. I just feel like this was felt like a real breakthrough performance. But you don't know exactly what's gonna happen. Like you can't tell who's gonna be the crazy one, who's gonna be what's gonna turn this into a thriller, which is what I thought it was. And it does get to that point, but for the most part, it's like a kind of a slow burn drama sort of. And this neighbor, the older guy, becomes, I wouldn't call it obsessed, but more of has an infatuation with the new girl that lives next door. She's showing him lots of attention, being really friendly. So it's more than just her looks. It's kind of touchy-feely kind of girl. And so she's sending mixed messages and stuff. And he's being cool about it. But he has this ongoing infatuation with her. And he's a writer. So he works upstairs in his writing area and can see them, sunbathing and all this kind of stuff. And then it turns out that her husband's kind of a douchebag. So then things start to get more a little darker. And I don't want to talk about the end, but I really enjoyed this. If you're looking for a horror movie, or like I said, just a total thrill, this is more like a psychological thrilling drama. And if you're okay with just kind of tense, slow burn stuff, then I really recommend it. But if you're looking for some crazy, knife wielding maniac that goes after somebody because they are infatuated, that's not what this is. It's just really, really good acting, really good characters, great writing. The cinematography is great. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys would, but it feels like as I was watching it, when it got toward the end, or after we finished watching it, I told my wife, I was like, "This totally feels like something that I would have written."
Oh, so the characters are all fucked up.
So we probably wouldn't like it.
where I would take a normal situation, but add maybe a little bit more reality into it, realistic stuff going on. And,
so you're saying it sucks?
Lots of heart stuff. Man, screw you guys.
I've never heard of this movie.
It's on Tubi.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
They should be sponsoring the show at this point. All right. I'm interested in that. I haven't seen Michael Rosenbaum in something in a long time. He was Lex Luthor in Smallville, and I haven't seen him in much since. Just check it out. He has a good podcast, by the way. All right, Jack.
Yeah,
what
I've
you
seen
got?
All right. Remember Jim Cummings from The Wolf of Snow Hollow?
Yes.
So I love that movie. I watched it 2 days in a row the week we did it as a main feature because I was like, what was that movie? And one of the reasons I love that movie is because that guy was such a wacky, weird, manic character. So
Yep.
I watched another Jim Cummings movie called The Beta Test, which
Beta test.
is about that he's a Hollywood agent, and he gets this like purple invitation in the mail, which is basically like a invitation to an anonymous sexual encounter with, like, you anonymous, you no strings attached kind of thing. And
What could go wrong?
he at first he blows it off, but then it's gnawing at him, and so finally he goes through with it, and then his whole life gets turned upside down, and he's trying to figure out who the woman was and who sent the invitation and everything, and a lot of zany stuff. So it's kind of borderline on horror and thriller, and it's got a lot of kind of, I don't know, a little bit of commentary on the digital age and stuff like that. Good acting in it. The thing that struck me though is Jim Cummings is like he is in the Wolf movie. He's still that strange, like wacky, manic guy. I was like, oh, that's really him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he okay? He's a weirdo.
So he's a weirdo. Yeah, like that's a perfect way to say it. Not the best movie I've ever seen, but definitely interesting. And watching him in it, he's a compelling person to watch. So I would recommend watching this. I think it's a fun watch. It's interesting. Like I said, you may the ending, you may be like, what was that? But I was interested the whole time. It's not quite though. There's a little more of an edge at the beginning than maybe the end. I don't know. It's not. I was going and thinking it was to be a little bit more of a horror movie than it was. But it's
okay.
good.
Huh. Interesting to know that bizarre character's kind of him.
Absolutely. That was if you like Snow Hollow, watch this just to see like where the line is between his acting and he was also a cop in the last Halloween movie. He had like
Was
a little
he?
brief. Yeah, he
I
had a
don't remember that.
brief role.
Was he weird in that? I don't remember him.
Might have been. I don't know. Chad, you love that movie. What was he weird?
I don't remember. I just watched Michael and what he does.
He's doing the Crispin Glover thing where he's just strange all the time. All right. In preparation for the main feature this week, watched the original The Reef.
Me too.
I had never seen it. I think
Me neither.
Hunter had said it was worth watching.
I've said that before.
Okay. It was you like a couple months ago, something like that?
I kind of bring it up anytime I'm talking about good shark movies.
I honestly avoid most shark movies because they're not good.
Yeah.
And this was one of them. I was like, I'm not going to watch that. I was wrong to not watch that.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good movie. This was well made.
It's a freaking great movie.
It's just some people are in a sailboat. It capsizes. They have to try to swim to the nearest island without even being able to see it, just hoping the one guy knows what the hell he's talking about. And they're stalked by a shark, and shit does not go well. That's the whole movie. That's it. And it's intense. The character, they don't spend a ton of time on the characters, but you have a complete feel for everyone's relationship. It's done really well. They clearly didn't have a lot of money, but they did a good job. I'm guessing they composited a few times people in the water with some either stock footage or footage they shot of a massive goddamn shark. Mm-hmm. But they did it so well that it looks good. I don't have many complaints about this movie. It's just a well-made little indie film.
Yeah.
Good shit.
I do the same exact thing. I'm not a huge shark movie fan, and I avoid them too. Heard of this, didn't bother watching it, and man, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was super intense, and they did a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting, just to keep you on the edge of your seat. Like, is the shark coming now? Is the shark coming now? Is the shark coming now? And just a lot of that until finally the first attack, and just taking it to a different level, kind of like with what they did with Open Water, where there's no boat, man. It's you and your legs, and that's it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I freaking love this movie. It was to the point where it was like uncomfortable to watch for me. I thought it was scary.
I watched this movie at Hunter's house after doing Monster Men a long time ago, and this movie has a special place in our relationship because his little niece was there, and she was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old, pretty young, and she's watching it with us, and she just kept going, "This is the shark. This is the shark. It's a shark." It's like, to this day, like, if he's mentioning, she's probably like friggin' driving now and stuff, and he's like, he'll mention it, go, "Oh, my niece, the shark." It was the cutest thing ever. But we both were like, "Oh my god, I never expected that movie to be so good." So, like, we did a Monster Man show about shark movies, and that's like in the top 5 of like shark movies you
Yeah,
should watch.
for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I should not have put it off. So I've never seen Open Water either, because I was like, but maybe I should check that out too. Shit, I don't know what I'm missing. So this was free on Prime. So if you've
Open
never
Water
watched it-
uses real sharks.
around the actors.
Yes,
Oh,
so it's
Okay.
worth it just for that. It's
okay, sold. Yeah, so check out The Reef, free on Prime. Definitely worth a watch if you're like me and Chad, and you just put it off. What you got, Chad?
I went to I was going to go to Tubi, and then I realized it was on Shudder, so I didn't want to watch the commercials, so I watched the movie Pieces from 1982 on Shudder. This is the third time I've seen this. I saw it back in, I think, 86. It was one of those movies that was always on the shelf, next to Microwave Massacre or whatever else, where you're just like, oh, man, I gotta eventually watch this movie. And it's weird. I've been rewatching a lot of those movies that I saw, like 84, 85, 86, and didn't appreciate them because I wasn't interested in a story. I wasn't interested in characters. There's only 2 things I really wanted to see, if you know what I'm saying. And one of them was gore, and lots of gore.
Oh, I gotta be careful there.
Yeah, I saw that one.
What the
found
hell?
The thing.
These are usually PG.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I watched this first, way back in the day, and I was like, oh, that was okay. But I wanted to just see gore because I thought that this was just going to be some absolute gore fest. And same with first time I saw Texas Chainsaw, I was like, really? That was this, because I saw it in like the, I think, early 80s, and I was kind of not impressed because I was expecting just this goriest movie ever made. And so I saw Pieces again, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, enjoyed it more, and I enjoy it even more now. Now that I'm like not this jaded kid and can appreciate the rest of the movie outside of any kind of gore in this. Even though it is gory, it is a gory movie, but I wanted to have my mind blown with gore, like Dead Alive or something, that level of gore. I really like this movie, man. I didn't realize this is essentially, it's thought of as a slasher, but this is essentially a Giallo film. I mean, you got the black gloves and everything, and it's even dubbed. And it's a kid is putting together a nudie puzzle, and his mom busts him doing it, and she throws a fit and starts going through his toys looking for more smut, and he leaves the room and comes back with an axe and just obliterates her face and chops her up into pieces. And there's some great kills in here. That's one, the waterbed one was really artistically, that's total Giallo right there. And it's cool because it's also a, there's some red herrings. Like you've got the stinky-eyed janitor or gardener. That's a big old dude that looks like that guy from, what was that show, Family Affair or something? Big old grizzly bear looking dude. And you
Mr.
think he's the
French.
killer. What's that?
Mr. French from Family Affair,
Maybe, yeah.
or the father.
No, not the father. So, and I might not even be thinking of the same guy. I can't remember, but yeah. So there's your red herring with this guy because he just fits the role of this is a guy that's a serial killer, and they, so it's a murder mystery, giallo slasher with plenty of gore and some really cool kills. It's got some little bit of TNA in there, but I like it. You guys like this movie?
I saw this movie like you back in the 80s or whatever.
Mhm.
And the first, it was all, you saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then somebody who was a horror nerd would be like, oh, you got to see Pieces.
Uh-huh.
So when we finally rented it, I was first of all like, oh my God, Christopher George is in this because he was one of our favorites, like John Saxon.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife, Linda Day George. But then what threw me was the whole giallo thing, because back then we were like, what the hell? This is like an Italian movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was kind of a letdown because I think I was expecting more of a flat out zany slasher in the woods kind of thing or something. So I've been meaning to get back and watch this again as an adult. So I need to do that.
I'd never seen this until Joe Bob's comeback 24-hour marathon he did a couple years ago. This was, I think, the last movie. So I had been drinking for 12 hours. This came on. I was just in my basement watching. I had a blast with this.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
It's got a ninja that just pops out of nowhere for a second, too.
Like Bruce Lee or Bruce Lee, like one of those Bruce Lee knockoff guys, just shows up. You're like,
yeah,
what the hell
for
am I
no
watching?
reason at all.
No, it has nothing to do with anything. So yeah, I had a blast with it. It's a wild, dumbass, fun movie. Like,
and it's got one of the
enjoyed
greatest like shocker endings, kind of like not quite like Sleepaway Camp, but in that vein, where it's like the movie could have just ended and it would have been a cool movie, but then that last like 15 seconds is awesome, which I had totally forgotten about, and I couldn't believe it. So
yeah, I really dug the ending. Fun stuff. I've been wanting to go back to Pieces again at some point. It's starting to get long enough now. I don't know. How long ago did Joe Bob come back? 4 years ago? So, that movie's starting to fade a little bit, so I need to check it out again. All right, Jack.
Chad, I can't believe you actually said the words Godzilla versus the Smog Monster a little while ago, because that's one of the movies I watched this week.
Nice.
What? How is that even possible?
So, as I mentioned to you guys, I went to my buddy Morgan's cabin for a couple of days before we went to Scares. Had a great time. We are like brothers, and we could just sit around and lose an afternoon to something nostalgic and silly and stupid on TV or YouTube or whatever. So in our drinking moonshine, hanging out in the mountains, we popped on Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, which I have trouble remembering which Godzilla movies I've seen and which I haven't.
I was going to say, was this it?
That's it. So the other title of this is Godzilla versus Hedorah. That's the Japanese name, and the American name is the Smog Monster. So it's, it is not the greatest movie ever, but if you're looking for a Godzilla movie, this is exactly what you're looking for. And this one is definitely worth watching. The Smog Monster is this, like, it's an alien that came down and then fed on pollution and grew and becomes this awesome Power Ranger looking black mushy thing. There it is. That's just awesome. I read a little bit about it. It has vagina-like eyes. And it also can transform into like a flying being. And so it also spits this like black goo acidic stuff. So it's an awesome monster. This movie also has a ton of like psychedelic 70s kind of stuff going on there, like in a nightclub with like, that burning color bubble stuff that was really in the background of videos. Some of that going, look at that's the flying version of the monster.
UFO Smog Monster.
So one of the notable things about this movie is
I think it's funny how it actually has cat-like eyes, but Jack insists that they're vagina eyes.
Go to IMDb and read. The most notable thing about this movie is this is the movie where Godzilla flies. He turns around, he blows his breath like repulsor rays, launches him, and he flies backwards like doing the backstroke. He propels himself with his breath and flies. I believe this is the only movie he does that in. I could be wrong, but
I've never seen this. I didn't know there was one where he flew.
Yeah. So this was a great movie to have on while we were hanging out, having a couple of drinks and catching up on things. And the Smog Monster is just very cool. And very topical now. When you see all the like garbage in the floating in the ocean and stuff, you're like, oh, they were right.
This is going to age me, but I haven't seen this since like 1975. And I do think it's the very first horror movie I've ever seen. And what I remember, and I could be wrong, but I only remember one scene because at the time I thought this is hardcore gory. At the end, doesn't Godzilla essentially just disembowel the Smog Monster and rip eggs out and throw them?
Yeah, he pulls his insides out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Damn.
Pretty awesome.
I was like, I need to watch this one. I don't think I've even heard of this, to be honest. Oh, check it out. Very nice.
Good stuff.
I have nothing else. So, Chad?
No, I'm good.
You good?
I'd like to bring up one other thing that Morgan and I watched together. We were flicking around and we found a reboot of Fantasy Island. It must be on Amazon or something like that. And it's got a female Mr. Rourke, Ms. Rourke. It's like his great niece. And so we're like, oh, we have to watch one episode just to see.
Oh, it's a show, not the movie.
It's a show. No, it's a
what year?
Brand new. I think it's brand new. It's very new, if not this year. So we watch it.
Really? They just came out with that movie. Like,
yeah, I know. That's why when I saw it, I was like, "That's not the movie. What's going on?" That's why we watched it. I think it's a series. So it's got, like I said, like the female Mr. Rourke and their version of this and that. But it's not a horror movie like the movie. It's more like the TV show where people come and have their fantasies. There's an old couple that are sick and they get their youth back for the weekend and other stuff like that. So we watch it and it's pretty cheesy. So this gets us talking about Fantasy Island, and naturally the conversation shifts to our favorite Fantasy Islands ever was Roddy McDowell played the devil and has awesome battles with Mr. Rourke. So we looked up and it turns out there was two of them. So after this, we went back and might be on Tubi, one of those channels, maybe one of the other free ones.
I think it is.
We went and watched both Roddy McDowell, where he plays the devil, trying to get Mr. Rourke's soul. And then something happened at Scares That Care that made me definitely want to bring this up. In both episodes that were a year apart from each other, Artie Johnson is in both episodes in a separate fantasy. In one, he's like a guy who wants $1 million. It's kind of a monkey's paw kind of thing. And then in another one, he's a guy from like Brooklyn who wants to be a cowboy. But he's not the same guy. He's a different character. And they cast him in the same exact devil episodes. You're like, wouldn't you think you'd at least like try and hide him in a different episode or something? But then when we were at the ET panel, and Dee Wallace, somebody asked her about when she was on Murder, She Wrote. And she goes, oh, I was on Murder, She Wrote like 5 times. And she was like, back then, if the studio liked you, they had you back all the time. They're not like that anymore. Now you're like one and done. Like they did not give a crap about continuity or anything like that back in the day. It was just a machine. You want a job, you're playing this character this time. And so it was funny to come right off the heels of Morgan and I laughing about like we were wondering like who has played the different characters the most on Fantasy Island or the Love Boat or things like that. So maybe Dee Wallace holds the Murder, She Wrote.
Maybe. I mean, back when they were really making that stuff, reruns were just kind of becoming a thing, right? You didn't really have to worry about people seeing this shit after it aired.
Right. Well, a lot of them are always talking about like that. We didn't care about a lot of this. We never thought there was going to be home video or people streaming and things.
Right.
But back to Roddy McDowell as the devil and the over-the-top satanic reveals at the end and the "Damn you, Rourke" in that Roddy McDowell voice.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't watch the episode, look it up on YouTube. Adam West is in one of the episodes. It's chef's kiss. So good.
Nice. How is the new Fantasy Island? Did you watch it?
Not great.
Okay.
Yeah.
The images looked boring.
Yeah.
I used to love Fantasy Island. I think that and Love Boat maybe were on the same night.
Yeah, they
watched
were.
them back to back.
We also watched one where Tattoo gets in a little car accident and needs brain surgery from Oscar Goldman. And it's a freaking, like, what do you call those? Highlight shows where they show scenes from old episodes. We were like, what? We didn't know they had that for Fantasy Island. And so we had watched like 2 episodes of Fantasy Island. Half of the highlights they showed were from the 2 episodes we watched. What are the odds?
Wild.
Beautiful. Very nice. Is that everything?
That's it.
All right. Let's jump into the main feature, The Reef, Stalked.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
I'm having trouble remembering what the name of the song was. Was it Into Space?
I don't know. Play something kind of jazzy.
That does not sound jazzy.
It might be. Yeah, that'll work.
I think this is the one we did the last time.
I don't know. I don't know if we're doing this every week. This is hard.
You're such a pro.
Yeah, you could do it sometime.
That will never happen.
This is a story of a girl and a shark riding in a kayak instead of the ark. One sister had a mother. One has a sister murdered in a bathtub that should have stayed home or swam at the yacht club.
Oh, that's
Good job,
awesome.
Jack.
Oh my god. Well done, dude. That's hysterical. Do you want to go first after that amazing performance?
No.
All right, Lutzke. Do it.
Okay, I have a feeling, Jason and you are probably going to feel the same way because we just saw the awesome The Reef. And,
Yeah, I have a feeling you are correct.
So this movie didn't suck. I didn't think it sucked, but everything good about it had already been done better. There's a lot of those. They try to build those kind of fake tense moments. Well, not fake tense, but tense moments that were, I don't know, kind of fake, but they didn't feel fake or whatever. And it just didn't. The Reef isn't like a kill count movie. It's not a slasher movie. We're just like, I can't wait to see the next person get their leg ripped off. It's much more intelligent than that. This is even less of that, as far as, and we'll get into that later, but as far as killing and stuff goes. But I didn't think it was a horrible movie, but I don't recommend it. I say watch The Reef and stop there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now, everything if you're the director, the same director as the first one, which surprised me. I love the first movie. Maybe stop listening now. I did not like this. Everything, like you said, everything that I thought worked in The Reef, I felt like didn't work in this. Everything in this was just a lesser version or not as well done. There was just so much weird stuff in this that I was like, why? Like, why? And I don't know. I don't want to say the performances. I don't think that's the right word. What the characters were doing
Their decisions
never made a lick of goddamn sense to me. The entire movie. I'm sure the first one they shot in, I almost said a tub, like one of those pools, and then they just put this guy in or whatever. I'm sure they did a lot of that in the first one too. It was really obvious in this one.
Sometimes it seems so, yeah.
The water was very still. The actors were clearly standing on something. It just, everything that made the tension work in the first one just didn't work for me in this one. I just really struggled, and by the end, I was just like, okay, can we just wrap this up?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the worst thing I've seen, but after watching The Reef, I was like, oh man, damn, I really wish I hadn't watched The Reef first.
Unlike you two, I watch a lot of shark movies, and I know that most of them are bad. There's sort of a leaning into it and watching them to see how bad they are. And you've got the extreme, like sci-fi are purposely making them cheesy and bad. And then you've got the ones that are out there and you watch them and you know it's garbage, but you watch it to see how dumb it is. And then you watch some to hope that maybe we're getting the next good shark movie. This one falls like right in that, it was all right. It wasn't the worst, but not great. Like, the characters you don't really care about. There was a lot of them looking around and what was that? Jump scary kind of stuff. Some of the techniques for building tension was good, but it also got it monotonous after a while. There is one moment, I mean, they are really slow moving shark for most of this, but there's one like
Yes,
CG
that was
torpedo
hilarious.
that just like
It went
like,
full
what the hell is
Sharknado.
that? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was insane.
That was hilarious.
So, and I haven't seen the original in a long time, but I was kind of like, oh, all right, The Reef, let's see what they got. And I'm like, like I said, not terrible, but not compelling. At least the really bad ones usually have something so over the top that you're like, that's the charm of it. So bad it's good almost.
Yeah.
This one, it's kind of like it's like when your baseball team is 500. You're like, either really suck or be really great.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like by the end, I had no emotion towards the movie. It's just like, man, because and a lot of it was just attention to detail stuff that was bothering me. Which, when I'm into a movie, it doesn't even click. But in this one, so the main character's having the flashbacks to finding her sister dead, but the flashbacks are of her sister dying, which she didn't see.
Yeah.
And it's from the sister's point of view and the killer's point of view. And I'm like, what?
Well, I think that's, when something traumatic like that happens and you don't see it, I think that you can have the tendency to try to reenact it. You're not reenact it, but envision exactly, what happened.
You're imagining what it was
down.
like for them.
Of course. But this is filmmaking. Like, you got to show me. So, like, the fix is when she comes home, she sees the husband killing the sister.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or finds the sister dead, and then the husband grabs her and throws her in the tub and is killing her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cops come. I don't know, something like that. Like, just little things like that were bugging me. Where I was like,
that whole subplot, though, too, trying to add some background and color to the character, but I didn't really care. I kept going, oh, stop with the flashback stuff.
Now that I think about it, I wonder if he was trying to take a page out of Ari Aster's Midsummer book, because Ari Aster did that at the beginning of Midsummer with this really traumatic family experience.
Right.
And then they go off and they try to, she tries to normalize her life. Similar, like, concept, or at least in the way of the writing. It makes me wonder if that's what he's trying to accomplish.
I love in Midsummer when you go back and look and you can see in the woods the image of the sister's face with the pipe in her face.
I don't know if I saw that. I did see faces and I saw the warbly everything, but I don't know if I saw her face in there.
So much good shit like that. Yeah, see, we're already talking about a different movie.
Well, look, I know that we can't compare everything to Jaws, but Jaws had a stellar cast and Steven Spielberg and all that. But just in its lowest form, most basic. When I watch Jaws, I like the not shark parts more than the shark parts. I love the characters. I love the dialogue. I love the story, and the shark parts are great and timeless and all that. But when I sit with my friends, we're quoting lines from that. We're not caring about the, how cool the shark looked on the sled underwater. This and it's very few, maybe Deep Blue Sea, for all its cheesiness, did a pretty good job of building a story around not just like people in a sailboat worried that a shark was going to knock them over.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of shark movies that understand how to create a story around the shark that's compelling.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard to compare it to Jaws. Jaws is the god tier, but just compared to the first movie.
Yeah.
Everything the first movie nailed. Pacing, the tension, the camera work. It just felt like this was just a rung lower. Every step it was just like a rung down. It was like, man, I've already seen The Reef. There's really no point in watching this one because this is just a lesser version of it.
It felt like we took a ride on this insane roller coaster, and then the same guy who built that was like, check this roller coaster out, and it was like not even half the size of the one that we just got off from, with the same going up and spins and same turns and stuff like that, because it didn't even the fact that in the first one they're, like I said, it's them and their legs and their couple little raft things, and there's 4 of them. But in here they've got boats and stuff, so the stakes aren't really as high, I guess. And it's not as intense. So I don't understand the purpose of, unless it's just trying to cash in, which is what a lot of people do anyway. We're gonna make money on this. Let's just put this.
Guy's got
together.
a mortgage just like everybody else.
The compositing or whatever, the special effects of the sharks wasn't as good in this movie.
No. The CG did not work most of the time in this. It really pulled me out of it. And that torpedo shark, I was like, wait, is this Sci-Fi Channel?
Yeah.
Even
It
the
took me
shark,
right out.
the shark grabs the little girl. I should probably start saving stuff for spoilers. here.
Yeah, I've
Now
been
let's
waiting
get
to
the
talk about that
spoilers.
one too.
All right.
Spoilers. Get out now. Get out of the water.
Like it grabbed the little girl and her leg was messed up, but she's fine. And then when it grabs the one friend and just tears up her vest,
No broken ribs, no nothing.
not even a nick,
Mm-hmm.
but she's unconscious.
Yeah.
Like those are the little things that were bothering me. Like, why is
the
she
little girl?
unconscious?
The little girl's leg got cut up.
Yeah, I'm talking about the friend. Later
Talking
in the
about the
movie.
other sister that.
Okay.
Grabs her, she disappears, floats back up unconscious. They go to get her. There's nothing wrong with her.
Mhm.
So it's just little shit like that I'm like, well, then why is she unconscious? Like, just, I don't know. It's just like weird little things that were bugging me the whole movie. Just being a nerd, I guess.
That's one of the things that bothered me most. And one I think the thing that bothered me more than anything was when they disconnected the second canoe away from their canoe, and I'm like, wait a minute. When you guys left, you put this together to stay afloat because you have a leak, right? Isn't that why they put that together in the first place?
Yeah.
And then they get way out there, and they have to use the one for their little bait trap that they were, using, but then they're just like, oh, F this other boat, we don't need it. I don't understand why they did that.
I don't either. They're like, oh, the shark's gone.
Now your boat's not sinking anymore? What happened?
Actually, I don't think they originally put it on because I don't think they realized it was sinking until after they.
I think
got
it was.
out there.
I thought they put it on for bumpers in case the shark attacked, so that it wouldn't hit the main boat.
Okay. Okay.
But then they realize it's sinking. So why would you get rid of the other 2 boats? So
Yeah.
And why? Every time they saw there, at one point, there's 10 inches of water in this thing, and the girl does one slow bucket, doesn't do shit for 10 minutes, then does one more slow bucket. I'm like, shouldn't you be bucketing like crazy?
Yeah.
You
She's
are
like,
stinking.
oh, we're sinking, and she's like, help me with this net.
they
I'm
needed
like,
Hunter
no,
Shea.
don't help her with the net. Get
They
that
needed
water out
Hunter
of it.
Shea with his bucket and mop in that thing. He would clean that sucker right out.
He's a pro.
Yeah, it's just shit. Like even watching them paddle like very slowly.
Yeah.
And the paddles were only going in halfway. I'm like, this makes no sense. Like, get to the goddamn island. It's not that far.
There was another. Go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There was another scene that, they're like, okay, now we're gonna go back out in the water because this girl needs medical attention, which I thought was fairly unrealistic. I mean, they didn't really look at the wounds to see how bad they were, to see if they could maybe, like, do you guys have any, triple antibiotic? Do you have anything that we can treat this for right now and hope to get, they're just like, okay, we're out of here.
It wasn't
And-
bad enough that I'm going out where a shark just destroyed that floating.
Yeah, and already
block
killed one of
wood.
us.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. Too
And they
bad.
destroyed the raft. So they're like, we got to get to this other island. We got to hurry up and get there.
Why are there just 3 random, like a woman and 2 little girls on this like random abandoned island anyway?
Yeah, I don't
No
know.
idea. No idea.
But they get out there and then they get attacked again by the shark, and then afterwards they just like they chill. It's like, do you guys forget that you were in a hurry and that you were this girl's bleeding? Because then they're just kind of like, it's like they forgot, and I didn't.
Yeah, they were just lollygagging through the last half of the movie. No hurry. Like, I don't know. That stuff was really bugging me. And then when the woman is underwater with a machete and stabs it up through a shark, I'm like, come on, like, really?
Dude, this shark died fast.
I was glad though, at least they didn't blow the shark up.
Dude, it takes more than that for me to kill a bluegill. You know?
Machetes, the great stabbing weapon that a machete is too. Just, ugh.
I was telling my wife, because she came in for the last 20, 25 minutes or so. And so I remember when she walked in and she's watching it and she's watching a shark attack and she's seeing that flashback. And I'm like, man, my wife has no freaking idea why this dude is choking a girl in a bathtub during a shark scene. But she didn't say anything. But I explained it to her. And I was like, man, there's no way that shark would have, because fish, they're not like chickens, but they don't die right away like that, man. They're swimming around, flipping around, and you do that to a shark, unless she hits some crazy spinal cord thing through his chin.
Literally impossible for her to shove that machete while underwater, no less, up into a shark.
Yeah.
It was just like, ugh.
I want a movie to happen where that happens, and then that blood attracts all the other sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think you're done. That'd be great. Tina says their husbands were fishing and they were camping there waiting on them. Okay. I don't remember that, but
I'll take her word for it. Tina knows her stuff.
So, yeah, that was just kind of the whole movie for me. Just like little things are bugging me. Characters aren't working. I don't know. Just, yeah. Watch the original. It's great.
Yes, definitely watch the original for sure.
That's what I hate like bagging on this, because it was like, man, I just watched a great shark movie. Like one of my favorite shark movies ever. And then I'm like, oh, sequel should be good. Same dude. And it just didn't click. So I'm sure Hunter loves it. I bet he does.
He's on a roll, so maybe.
Yeah, he's lost his mind.
I think he was, judging by the way, just in the text with him, I think he's kind of like me with like, it was okay. But then if you talk about the movie, there's not much positive to really, it's it's okay. It's not bad. It's hard to like prop that up in a conversation about it, because you keep going to the limitations of the movie. It's hard to go, well, it would be easier to pull a few other shark movies that are worse than this. Well, it's not as bad as, Shark Bait.
Anything. Yeah, anything on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing the budget must have been much, much lower than the original, because I was just shocked at how the effects looked worse, even though it's 12 years newer. Like that surprised me.
That whole, I guess it's called compositing. That thing where they take real sharks and then they put it in with the actors and the fake. That's become like the real hot thing in these low budget shark movies now. And I was really surprised this movie did that so often.
Yeah, the CG shark, man. Ugh. But I'll never forget the torpedo. That was
that was the best part.
I was like, oh, is that where this movie's going? Because I might actually enjoy that. Like that's really that really doesn't look good. So, damn it. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't want
no idea. We haven't talked about what we're watching, shockingly. So, stay tuned on Twitter. We'll let you know. Nice job, gentlemen.
Yeah, man.
And we'll catch everyone next
week.
week.
Have a good night, everybody.
Stay out of the water.
Bye.
over